5 News starts now with breaking news.
That breaking news happening in Washington, D.C., where the Senate appears on track to pass a budget bill to end the government shutdown. The budget stalemate's in its 40th day. Senators just took the first steps to bring it to an end. The agreement was negotiated to a moderate group of Democrats and resulted in enough votes for Republicans to get the 60 votes needed to block a filibuster. It will include a vote on the future of health care subsidies, but not until early December. Federal workers who had their jobs eliminated during the shutdown will also be rehired. Senate Majority Leader John Thune spoke on the agreement and what it accomplishes earlier tonight on the Senate floor.
All of us, Republicans and Democrats, who support this bill know that the time to act is now. And so in just a few minutes, I will call up the vehicle for a clean continuing resolution packaged with 3 bipartisan year-long appropriations bills: agricultural appropriations, military construction, VA appropriations, and legislative branch appropriations. These bills will fund SNAP for the entire fiscal year. They will fund WIC for the entire fiscal year. And they will fund our veterans for the entire fiscal year.
New budget bill passes in the Senate. Members of the House of Representatives would also need to pass the bill. It's unclear when that could happen. We'll have much more coverage of the shutdown and the impact it's continuing to have for food benefit programs and at U.S. airports. But first, we're going to check in with meteorologist Noah Simmons, who continues our coverage with a first look at some cold temperatures we can expect tomorrow morning. And if you thought this morning was cold, just wait until tomorrow morning, right?
That's right, Lauren. Yeah, we've been seeing those cold temperatures. I caved in and I finally brought out the winter jacket today. I'm sure a lot of you guys did as well. We've seen those colder temperatures here this evening with those temperatures in the upper 20s, close to 30 there in Bentonville, 36 in Ozark, 37 there in Boonville, and our other cities we're going to be seeing those colder temperatures as well. Currently sitting at 32 degrees in Springdale, 36 in Charleston, 36 there in Greenwood. And our temperatures are only going to get colder as we work our way into those overnight hours. If we kind of compare this with 24 hours ago where our temperature was, look at this 24-hour temperature change. We are much colder. In fact, everywhere is in this purple, about 20 to 25 degrees colder right now than this point yesterday. And that's what that cold front really did as it worked its way through yesterday evening. If you look at that bus stop forecast, we certainly want those kids having the jackets here with that bus stop, with those temperatures in the 20s in the morning. For recess, we're only going to be in those 30s, and our high temperatures are only going to be in the 40s. At least we get to see the sunshine, but it's just going to be another cold day to start out the week. And coming up, I'll recap what we can expect for the rest of this week, as well as some warmer temperatures if this cold isn't your thing.
For our continuing coverage of the government shutdown, we're taking a live look out over the Capitol now, where senators appear to have reached a deal to end the government shutdown after a group of Democrats voted yes. Once it clears the Senate, the House will also need to sign off on the changes senators made. Despite senators nearing a deal to bring the government back open, the effects of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history are intensifying. There are mounting flight disruptions and delays across the country. CBS's Chanel Call reports from Newark International Airport.
Our best case scenario is that we'll be able to leave here in 2 hours.
Video from this morning shows a Delta Airlines pilot telling passengers to deboard a plane in Minneapolis because of staffing shortages at their destination.
We need to figure it out as a country, get it together.
We met Eddie and Carla Lippincott when that same flight arrived in Newark more than 2 hours later than scheduled.
Nobody should go through this.
We were delayed 4 hours this morning, but in intervals, 7 to 8:15 to 10:30, 10:15 to 10:30, and I think we finally departed at 11:05 or something.
The FAA says air traffic control staffing shortages are causing flight delays or cancellations in at least a dozen cities. Today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned some Americans won't be able to celebrate the upcoming holidays with their families if the shutdown continues.
As we get closer to Thanksgiving travel, listen, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have air travel slow to a trickle.
In Washington, D.C., federal employees furloughed without pay lined up outside the Capitol Food Bank warehouse. The food bank is expecting to provide 1 million more meals this month compared to the period before the shutdown.
Because I have gone without a couple of paychecks, I decided to come here and take advantage of this really generous opportunity.
And if the shutdown continues, we could see even more delays and cancellations come later this week. The FAA is now mandating flight reductions rise to 6% on Tuesday and then 10% by Friday. Chanel Call, CBS News, New York.
We'll be watching developments from Capitol Hill. You can follow the latest updates as soon as we find out more about when a vote could happen in the House with our free 5 News Plus app for your smart TV. And we're following sad news from the University of Arkansas Athletics Department tonight. Mike Nail, the longtime voice of the Razorbacks basketball team, has died. He was 80 years old. The announcement came today from the school's official Facebook page. No cause of death was revealed in the announcement. Nail retired following the 2009 to 2012 season after nearly 30 years and more than 900 games. His tenure included calling 3 trips to the Final Four in their national championship season. Well, Andrew McGann, the Springdale man accused of killing a couple hiking at Devil's Den State Park over the summer, is set to be back in court this week. Here's what's happened so far and where the case stands. We're having some technical difficulties. We'll try to get you that package here soon, but moving along. November usually brings the first days of cold weather, including the next few days, but the cold weather can bring with it some health dangers. One you might not think about: skin conditions. November is National Healthy Skin Month, and 5 News anchor Darren Bobb talked with a local dermatologist about what to look for.
November is a great time for National Healthy Skin Month because the temperatures are changing, the humidity's changing, and it's important that we change our skincare.
Dr. Sandy Johnson of Johnson Dermatology in Fort Smith says dry skin is the most common condition during the cold. She says one of the best ways to treat it is the most plainest, blandest moisturizer possible, one without a lot of extra ingredients. But in extreme conditions,
we would wet their skin and then we would rub Crisco on them and then put them in like a sauna suit to really hydrate their skin, because a hydrated skin is a healthy, happy skin. But we don't have to do that so much anymore because we have better products and better treatments.
Sun exposure and skin cancer like melanoma are another concern. While you might associate all that with summer months, Dr. Johnson says it can still happen in the winter.
We talk about the ABCDs of melanoma. I really rely on E and F for anything on your skin. So if something is evolving or changing, please come in and let us look at it. And F is plain funny looking. If it does not look like anything else you have on your body, come in and let us look at it.
Bottom line, Dr. Johnson says, take this month and become more aware of your skin. She says getting a yearly exam could actually lead to solving other medical issues.
Skin is the largest organ of the body and it's the most visible organ of the body. So we can easily see when something is wrong. And also a lot of systemic manifestations and internal problems show up on the skin. So somebody might present with eczema on their skin when actually they're having a drug reaction to a medicine. Or they might think they have psoriasis when actually they have something else going on, like a lymphoma in their body. And so it's important that you see your dermatologist and get treated.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, I'm Darren Bobb, 5 News.
We have that package for you now. Andrew McGann, the Springdale man accused of killing a couple hiking at Devil's Den State Park over the summer. He's set to be back in court this week. Here's what happened so far and where the case stands. 29-year-old Andrew McGann is charged with 2 counts of capital murder, accused of killing Clinton and Kristen Brink when they were hiking with their 2 young daughters back on July 26th. After a 5-day manhunt, McGann was arrested on July 30th while getting his hair cut in Springdale and booked into the Washington County Jail, where he's been held without bond ever since. His first court appearance was August 1st, followed by an arraignment 2 weeks later where he pleaded not guilty to both counts of capital murder. Prosecutors say they plan to seek the death penalty, a process they say is expected to take years. In August, a judge also issued a gag order preventing more than a dozen agencies from making public comments about the case. And most recently, the court granted a request allowing McGann to appear in civilian clothing and without restraints, his attorneys arguing that restraints could influence how a jury sees him. McGann is scheduled to appear in court Friday. We'll be in the courtroom following Friday's hearing. We'll have updates on the latest developments and along with all of our coverage on this case with the free 5 News app.